Hello everybody, I want to talk today about my 20 plus tips, techniques that I use for grounding that I recommend. If you're feeling ungrounded, if you're having a particular, spiritual, buzzy day, if you've done emotional work, there are a million reasons to ground. If your mind is really loud and you're just kind of living up here, these are all the ways to just kind of center, orient, and kind of come back down. I also just want them all packaged in nice little videos that it's a nice little resource that you can just access if that's what you're needing. Number one, and these are not in any particular order, but I would say reset. So I particularly like to do this on Sunday, my Sunday reset. That looks like, let's say I've been eating unhealthy. Let's say I haven't been catching up on laundry. Let's say I haven't been to the gym in a long time. Taking care of my physical reality and my physical needs, I feel like when that tends to go, when your room is disorganized, when your sheets in your bed haven't been cleaned in a while, all these little details, they add up and they lead us to kind of just continue on in that same kind of that snowball effect, and it just kind of worsens over time. So my reset is we're changing everything. And I swear to God, this is so grounding. It's so centering for me. So I will, my Sunday reset is laundry, sheets, finishing the laundry, because you guys, how many times have I left it in overnight? Too many. I'll go to the gym. I'll make sure that I'm on top of it. I'll go get groceries. I'll chop everything, because fun little tip, chopping is what I hate the most, I think. So if everything's chopped, everything's in a container, then throughout the week, I can kind of just pick out vegetables and roast them or whatever. But you get the gist. It's really about taking one day to reset everything. That looks like decluttering and organizing, staging, just getting your life back in order. I also want to add that if you're grounding, sometimes just setting that intention for the day, if many times when you're ungrounded, you don't know that you need to ground. So first, it's realizing that that's what you need. And then second of all is just setting that intention. Today, I'm just going to ground. Whatever my body wants to do to get there. Maybe I watch this video. Maybe I see where it resonates. That's what I'm going to do. Because I feel like energy follows intention. And so just being clear that that's what you want. Number two is to focus on safety. Because when you're in a trauma response or when you're triggered, or literally anything, going through an awakening can be really triggering. So anything that gets your body in that hyperactive fight or flight space, we can't really ground, we can't do anything, we can't even think in that space. So we just want to focus on safety. And I do have a video, 20 tips for complex PTSD. And I think in a lot of those are just, there's lots of good tools there to just kind of work through the emotional stuff, get to a place of safety, just kind of tend to that side of things. Sometimes that can be a really illuminating question. Sometimes you could be like, oh my God, I have legitimately not even thought about safety or wondered if I felt safe. And when you really ask yourself that question, you realize there's 5 or 6 things that you could do that could amplify the feeling of safety. We'll prioritize that. Number 3, I need to freaking number these, because you know what? I have had this happen 1,000 times in videos where I'm number 19, number 19, number 19. Number 3 is earthing. And you can literally do this outside, but I also have an earthing hack, which doesn't involve the earth at all, but it's lying on the ground indoors, which I feel if you're able to just, kind of get in Shavasana on the ground throughout the day, get on the floor. But if you're outside, that would look like walking barefoot, being outside, being in nature, taking in the senses, breathing it in, lying on the ground outside. Number 4 is super important. And really grounding is about orienting to your surroundings, to the present moment, getting out of your head. And so I feel taking a pause, because when the day starts to just amplify more and more energy, more problems, more this, more that, you can really get caught in it. It's like a current that'll take you. So getting in the habit of taking pauses and having just a conscious breath, taking literally 10 seconds to just go, I'm taking a pause. can change the way you show up in so many ways. Number 5 is to do a little meditation or a little visualization. I do have a grounding meditation that is available that I will link down below. I do this before sessions or anytime I want to get intentional, anytime I want to ground. I will imagine my boundary system, which is 3 to 6 feet around. I will make it a color of choice, make it really vibrant. And it's not necessarily a protection as much as just like my definition, like my personal space, who I am, and feeling that essence and its borders. And I'll also send a cord all the way down from my tailbone or the soles of my feet and plug it into the earth and just imagine it kind of like plugging in. Number 6 is a sensation meditation. And that doesn't have to be a meditation. It can literally just look like taking a pause, noticing the sensations in your body. I really like Tara Brach's sensation meditation that was in her book Radical Acceptance, where you just start breathing, and then if a sensation gets really loud, you follow that. If one gets louder, you follow that. Just kind of like ebbing and flowing with the sensations, whichever one wants to get more of your attention. Number 7 is to immerse yourself in water. This can also be a good one because we can play around with water, with temperature too. Obviously cold showers, but I think really like warm things can put me in my body too and make me feel safe, which helps with grounding. So using water for its temperature or also the immersion. So a salt bath. But if you don't have access to that, and again, busy day, just intentionally placing your hands running under cold water and taking a breath. Number 8 is like to actually do breath work. I really like the 4-7-8, which is like to inhale for 4, to hold for 7, to exhale for 8. Just literally 3 or 4 rounds of that can allow you to like maybe even unhook from a trigger, like be more present, all the things. Number 9, which is a new one that I'm getting into, which who would have thought? I never would have thought I would say this, but running. I kept getting synchronicities over and over again about how, like, I just on Instagram or whatever, like people being like running helps like complete my trauma responses, the whole Peter Levine run from the tiger thing. Well, I don't know what it is, but on that treadmill doing interval running, and like whether that's an angry song or I don't know, something energetic, and just pouring out all my energy as my whole body does this, like something specifically about that movement that I don't get from like the step master thing or even dancing. It's like running, I think, is ingrained in our primal brain as like a way to discharge that energy. And so I'm tapping into that and I'm running. I'm excited about it. Number 10 is to take a walk, but maybe don't have the earphones, don't have music, don't have the podcast. Literally feel the wind, right? It's like the whole thing of grounding is like name 5 things you see, 4 things you smell, 3 things you taste, 2 things you can touch. Like just really paying attention. And I feel like if I'm having an ungrounded day, I absolutely will go for a walk with 0 distractions. 11 is a practice called Unwinding. I think John Barnes, I'm going to butcher that name, I don't know, the myofascia guy, taught people kind of how to just like have your body start unwinding. It's like I like restorative yoga, and that's part of this number 11. But this is just, another thing that I like to do. I like to sit at night and just let my body start to move. And so the whole idea is that you want to kind of keep the movement going, almost like in this slow dance kind of form. And it's going to get into any position that it wants. And if you find a particular spot, you just hang out there. Where I feel like yoga is more traditional, right? There are these specific poses. Unwinding is just total free form. And it sounds simple, but for some reason I've done many weird things like with my body, but I never like set that as like a practice. Number 12 is to dance in your underwear, shake, pretend like you're a cat on the ground or a dog. It's like rubbing itself into the ground, like playful movements, different to unwinding, because this is just, we're more like shaking shit out and being more playful as opposed to that slow unraveling. So I hope that this one isn't too much information, but number 13 is orgasm. So I would use a toy and notice that before I'd even have sexual thoughts, I would just spend like 15 minutes finally feeling my body. And the breath happens naturally with stimulation. You know, it's almost like organic, the whole thing. You're not trying to do breath work. And I would just like, my breath would deepen and I would just naturally do the playful movements. So this one kind of ticks a lot of boxes, but I feel like I could really think about stuff and like solve problems. So now it's like my conscious meditation process where it's really not even about the sexuality, but it's just like a way that I really can ground. But then the orgasm obviously is a plus. So the orgasm definitely grounds me, centers me, releases. Number 14 is singing and toning and playing an instrument, using that throat chakra. Number 15 is my trusted acupuncture mat. I really just love laying on that thing. My whole body just exhales and sighs. Number 15 is to simply cover the top of your head. Place your hand. Boy, you know, like especially with pressure, that works. Number 16 is obviously permission to rest. And it doesn't have to mean a nap. It doesn't mean you have to sleep. But what I've noticed is like we can spend our whole day, right, up until like midday, taking in so much information, whether that's through our phones, the TV, the computer, reading, like our eyes. And I think our eyes, there's lots of energy transfer, lots of energy stuff happening with our eyes, which is why EMDR is so effective. So when our eyes are just on, think about it. They're open, they're taking in so much stimulus, they're receiving so much information. It's like all the time. So for me, sometimes resting, it literally just looks like crawling into my bed and just closing my eyes. Number 17 is grounding via light. So we have two ways to do this. One is sunlight. Sitting in a patch of sunlight. Look at animals. My dog finds every angle of sunlight in this room at each time and will follow it across, which I think is genius. Like let's just take notes. They're so grounded. But then the opposite of that is natural darkness, you know? Darkness is so grounding. We could use it to our advantage, like literally optimize darkness. So that can look like I have a bathroom that has no light. Sometimes I can step into that when I need to really ground, or taking the evening as you're like setting a nice intentional evening practice where you use that darkness. And I like to light candles, make it low light, and just take in the darkness, you know, sit with it. And lots of great processing happens for me during that time. Number 18 is body tapping, or we could do like Wolf of Wall Street, heart thumping. It freaking works. Number 20 is overlapping. So you're on the ground, but your legs are up. And I like to put a yoga block right underneath my bottom and let my legs hang. It's really good, gets the circulation, the blood flow down to the heart. Yoga teachers recommend it. They say they do it every day. I don't do it every day. And that was it. Those are my grounding tips. Please comment down below what worked for you. Sending you lots of love. Ooh, this could be one too. This is a good one. Actually, bonus tip, just like hugging yourself. I like to I literally kiss myself. I do it all the time. When I'm curling on a ball, I'll like kiss my knees. Have a good day, guys.